Hi, I'm joined today by Lisa Sanchez, Vice President of Employee Experience and Engagement, otherwise known as HR, at ArtCenter College of Design. Our firm led the search that placed Lisa at ArtCenter back in 2015. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ben. I really appreciate it.
Sure, of course. Maybe to start things off, I know many know about ArtCenter, but if you could maybe share a little bit about the college and its mission, that would be great.
Absolutely. So, ArtCenter College of Design has been around, believe it or not, since 1930. So, there's definitely a long history with the beginning starting in downtown LA and now working its way to Pasadena. And so, we really have been a staple here in Pasadena for quite some time. And the mission of the college is really quite simple. It's learn to create and influence change, right? Short and sweet. And what I love about this environment is we are an environment of creatives, and that's from faculty, staff, and our students. And what we all do every day really is to thrive in an environment to impact change and problem solving locally and globally. So when you think about the cars we drive, the products we use, and even the art that we place in our homes and our offices, our students and faculty are hard at work impacting those experiences.
It's such important work with the college, and I see um, pieces of that work every day in the things we use at home. So you've been with Art Center coming up on 10 years in a couple months here. How are things going for you and what's coming up next at Art Center?
Absolutely. Can you believe that, Ben? It will be 10 years in March, and I will say that it's going very well. I have spent most of my time moving the what we called HR back then, moving it from transactional to transformational. And that's looking at everything that we do and transforming it in a way that's more user friendly to our
Mm,
constituents. So if you think about how we recruit, the personnel files, for example, when I started were paper, they're electronic. Performance evaluations are electronic. We've been building the team. So when I started, it was 3.5 people. And now when we're fully staffed, we're 10, as I'm now in the
wow,
process of an active recruitment. But I've been able to reorganize the department so that I have an associate vice president who handles the day-to-day ops so that I can spend my time really in the strategic work with the executive office, process improvements, and more recently in labor, since now our faculty have unionized. But it's been a great ride so far, and I appreciate working with you and making my way into this school. We've been growing other types of programming, in particular, learning and professional development. Our wellness program really picked up coming through and
that's
out of
great.
the pandemic. And so it's been a great ride so far.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the
Yeah.
wellness component I think is so important. I know you and I've kept in touch over the years, grabbed coffee, here and there. And I know for you personally how committed and engaged you are to DEI and kind of the concept of culture. And just curious if you could maybe share a little bit about the importance of DEI and culture as it relates to the work at Art Center.
Absolutely. Really appreciate that question. DEI really is important at Art Center. We've woven it into everything that we do, from the student experience to curricular activities, extracurricular activities, all the way through the employee experience, including our faculty and staff. So, the trend has been DEI, but in 2021, I helped the school evolve the language to DEIAB, meaning adding on access and belonging, because I believe that DEI is incomplete unless you include access and belonging. And so our goal really is to embed it into everything that we do. So that means a scrubbing of our programs, our policies, our services, our business practices, even with our vendors and suppliers, so that everything that we do is through the lens of fairness, equitability, and objective practices. I've also been able to work with our executive office on building a culture shift work group. So that has been important because it creates a space for employees to talk about their experiences. And we have some plans in 2025 to enrich that even more through focus groups and other activities so that we have more voices at the table, understanding how important it is for the people driven through the values of a strong organizational culture, but also making sure that those values of DEIAB always stay present. So it's not a checkbox approach, but that
Yeah.
they're organic practices that we do to ensure that people are seen and heard and have opportunities to bring their voices to the table.
It's so important. And I think far too many organizations and individuals look at it through a lens of in higher ed, the students that are being recruited and or staff and faculty that are being hired. But clearly, and you understand this far better than most, clearly there's a lot more that goes into that. And it is really across the organization. Um, and I know, there's been so much discussion lately about DEI, DEIAB, and different views on this. And I'm just curious for you, just curious your views on the importance or maybe the value of DEIAB in culture today in higher ed, or maybe just in general.
Yeah, I appreciate that because we're hearing more and more that organizations are cutting DEI, and that
Yeah.
always leaves me stumped, Ben. What are you cutting exactly? Caring about people, right? Uh, we can't do that. And so that means we have to look at DEI through a different lens, reframing the conversation. I stated earlier that DEI or DEIAB, they're a set of values that are core to the organization, that are core to organizational culture. And so when we take away the lens of DEI being a checkbox or it's a program or it's an initiative, it gives you a wider gaze, right? Raising the gaze. It's about being people centric and making sure that we have opportunities for people to thrive and grow in their organizations, no matter how they show up. They should be able to show up as their authentic selves. And so when these values are important to the organization, they become less of a program or a checkbox and more organic. So that's just looking at everything that you do as an organization: recruitment, benefits, compensation, vendors and suppliers, and just making sure that there is space in there for people to have opportunities. And that's really what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, it is really to your point earlier. It is about the culture of the organization. It's not a specific program. It's not a checking the box. It is the culture that you intend to build. Well, it's such an important topic. Thank you for touching on that. It's been so great seeing you again, catching up, and I wish you and the team at Art Center all the best for continued success. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ben.